Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like, to check the date of the big game first before you accidentally buy tickets on your 20th wedding anniversary and have to spend the next 20 years of your marriage making up for it. Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate. Savings vary. Terms apply. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
You go into your shower feeling... But as soon as you reach for the Irish Spring, your day immediately gets better. That crisp, fresh, unmistakable Irish Spring scent zings your brain and awakens your senses. So when you finally emerge from the shower, 37 minutes later, because you pay the water bill so you can stay in there as long as you want, you're ready to take on the day and smell great doing it. Irish Spring Body Wash and Bar Soap. Fresh, green, Irish. Shop now at Walmart.
It's time to get inside the Giants Huddle.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
On Giants.com.
I like it, I like it.
And the Giants mobile app.
Boom, give me some juice.
Part of the Giants Podcast Network.
Let's roll.
Welcome to another edition of the Giants Huddle Podcast, brought to you by Citizens, the official bank of the Giants. It's our Baldies Breakdown edition of the Giants Huddle Podcast. Brian Baldinger, second straight week with us here. And Baldy, this week we're coming off a W, and the defense held the Browns to just 15 points in this game. I'll throw two numbers at you to start.
Yep.
Giants played more cover one and blitzed more in this game in week 3 than they did in weeks 1 and 2 combined. So a little bit of a different game plan from Shane Bowen.
No doubt. He got aggressive. And maybe, just watching Deshaun Watson struggle these first 2 games, maybe that's what caused it. But, I mean, they sent everybody at some point, whether it was Jason Pinnock or whether it was the inside linebackers on an X stunt, McFadden and Okereke. I mean, it was relentless. And then you got great pressure, both inside and outside from the whole group. But I thought they said, okay, you got to hold up on the back end, but we're going to pressure Deshaun Watson. They sacked him 8 times, John. They hit him 15 times. And just in the first quarter alone, John, they sacked him 3 times and hit him 5 times. And I believe in the Rex Ryan school of defense. Like, you hit quarterbacks early, they're gonna be affected later in the game. And I thought that paid off.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And heading into the game on blitzes, Watson had a 24 quarterback rating this year. I bet you the Giants saw that and decided to take advantage of it. The other thing I thought they took advantage of, Baldy, was DeJuan Jones was their starting right tackle. He was banged up from last week. He was on the injury report, barely practiced. Second, even when he's healthy, the man's 380 pounds. He's a mountain. Mountains don't move very quickly. They just seem to want to put their speed rushers on that side, and they just kept challenging his outside shoulder the whole game.
Well, Brian Burns had his best game, and a lot of his rushers came from over there on that side. But Ojulari came over there. Kayvon came. But, yeah, I mean, if you can get underneath DeJuan, because he's also not only is he 380, but he's 6'7".
Yeah. So
if you can make him bend, John, then, they're just ghosting him. They were ghosting him through much of the day. They didn't really have much of a choice. He did go out of the game the week before. He was in, he was out. And so he is banged up. And, they got him on an island, and they took advantage of it.
And I think what you liked about the defense, when the offense, and we'll get to that, stopped scoring in the second half, and the Browns defense kind of looked more like what we're used to the Browns defense being. The Browns got the ball 3 different times, Baldy, down 21-15, one-score game, a touchdown they could win, and the Giants defense got off the field all 3 times, and the Browns didn't cross the 50 on any of those drives.
They closed it out, John. They closed it out. They closed it out with pressure. They never got the running game going. And Deshaun Watson has hurt people in the past, just running and using his ability. And that really, outside of 1 or 2 scrambles the whole day, that really wasn't a factor. And so what you saw a defense that played fast and tackled well, and then just kept the pressure on the quarterback throughout.
It's funny. The guy you wouldn't think would be tracking down Deshaun Watson on some of those scrambles was Dexter Lawrence, who's 340. You featured on your breakdown the one outside, right, where he kind of chased him down, pushed him down. Then you had that key 4th down where he tried to scramble up the middle, and Dex got off his block, and he stopped him on that play too.
Not only that, though, he played 80% of the snaps, John.
Yeah.
He played 80% at that weight. There's not many guys. And I said, and I believe this, I'm just watching the whole league right now. He's playing as good, if not better, than any defensive tackle in football. I mean, whether the name is Chris Jones, you pick a name out there right now, the way he's affecting the game, whether it's short yardage, in passing situations, running. He's learned how to play at his weight. He's learned the conditioning is elite right now, and his play is elite.
I will give the Giants credit stopping the run. Foreman in 4, just 12 carries for 42 yards. But Baldy, I'll be honest. I'll also say I don't know why the Browns didn't lean into the run more earlier in this game, given how the Giants defended the run last week. The Giants end up going 3 and out after the initial turnover on the kickoff and the touchdown. Browns get the ball back. They run it once. Then they try to throw it 5 straight times. I didn't quite understand the offensive game plan, to be totally honest with you.
Well, but it's been going on. They lost badly to Dallas in week 1, and they threw it 51 times in that game. And it wasn't like Dallas jumped on top. I mean, it took a while for them to really build a lead, but they got away from the run in that game as well. Now, I know obviously Nick Chubb isn't healthy. He's not there yet. But still, that's what Kevin Stefanski has always been. He's been a run-first guy. I mean, going back to his days when he was with the Minnesota Vikings. And so it seems like they've lost their identity quite a bit.
I'm curious what your take is on Deonte Banks' coverage in this game, Baldy, because even going back to last year, he always seems to be in phase. He's there to make plays, but whether he's not getting his head around or locating the ball, he allowed some contested catches. So just your general thoughts on how Banks covered in this game against Amari Cooper.
Well, the opening touchdown to Amari, I mean, Deontay's right there. They squeezed him right to the pylon, John. Like, there's no more space. He's right there. Like, he's got to find the ball better in the air right now. You got the pass interference call. Okay, those things are going to happen. I just feel like he's got to locate the ball better and not panic. Like, he's a great athlete. Like, but his ability to find the ball, like, I just don't think Amari should have been able to catch that touchdown. He seemed surprised by it, but still, like, that's his play to make right there.
Giants Huddle Podcast is brought to you by Citizens, the official bank of the New York Giants. From game day celebrations to your everyday financial needs, Big Blue fans can get the most out of every moment with Citizens. Learn more at citizensbank.com/Giants.
You're ready for a change. Payday comes early with Citizens, so go to that retreat. New you moves to the country. Now you're raising goats and launching a lifestyle brand. Are you ready for all that life brings?
The best part of football season? Checking out the post-game stats. Which wideout scored more than 2 touchdowns? Which QBs threw for less than 350 yards? Think you can pick who will do what before kickoff? Then play Pick 6 from DraftKings, an official daily fantasy partner of the NFL. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app, select between 2 and 6 players, and choose if they'll have more or less of a stat. It's that simple. And for all first-time Pick 6 players, check this out. New customers play $5 on your first pick set, get $50 in Pick 6 credits. Download the new DraftKings Pick 6 app now and use code DK1. That's code DK1 for new customers to play $5 on your first pick set, get $50 in Pick 6 credits. Only on DraftKings Pick 6. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org in Connecticut. Must be 18 plus. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Pick 6 not available everywhere, including New York and Ontario. Void where prohibited. 1 per new customer. Non-withdrawable. Pick 6 credits. Expire in 6 months. Limited time offer. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos.
No, I'm with you on that 100%. Anything else on the defense you want to hit before we go to the offensive side of the ball?
Well, you got to give a lot of credit here to this Elijah Chapman right now, John. I mean, he's a free agent at SMU. He plays 22 snaps. Okay, he gets his first sack. Okay, nice pick play, getting Okereke free, and then he came loose. He gets a sack. Burns does the job of getting the ball out, and he recovers it. And then that chasing down Deshaun Watson, where he turned around like he did in the preseason, like that gets everybody's attention. He's maximizing his snaps. They need good defensive tackle play beside Dexter Lawrence. I feel like he's earning more and more snaps right now as we go forward with the way that he performed.
Yeah, you'll appreciate this. Andre Patterson, you well know, is one of the best defensive line coaches in the game, doing this a long time. I talked to him a couple weeks ago. He told me that pound for pound, Chapman's the strongest player in his room. And given he has Dexter Lawrence in his room, that's saying something.
Yes, I agree. But it shows up, though. It shows up and how he moves bodies. And even in the run game, he's just getting off blocks right now, John. You see him next to Dexter. He looks like he's undersized. Everybody does. But still, he's getting off blocks. He's penetrating. He's stacking. He's shedding. I think Andre, they've got themselves a good rotational player right now in Chapman.
All right, let's jump over to the offensive side of the ball here, Baldy. And I think you got to give a credit to Daniel Jones. In the second half of this game, did he miss some throws I'm sure he'd like back that could have put this game away? Absolutely. But the way he handled the Browns' pressure, you look at some of the advanced statistics, some have the Giants allowing the highest pressure rate in football in week 3. But he got rid of the ball quick on blitzes. He managed the pressure. He avoided the pressure on some plays. And he only, despite all those pressures, got sacked 2 times. I thought he handled that aspect of the game wonderfully.
Jim Schwartz he's a master. He's excellent at what he does. And disguising coverages and fronts. Oh, by the way, you got the reigning defensive player of the year out there in Myles Garrett that can ruin anybody's afternoon. But he stood in there. He took some hits. I thought he saw the field very well, John. It wasn't just one read and throw. He made some good decisions, good quick decisions from the pocket without constantly leaving. And, I thought he walked into some sacks in some of the first games, but he didn't do that yesterday. And then he took care of the football. And so I thought it was the best game that Daniels played, taking care of the football, making important throws, extending. They had the 2 long drives in the first half. They ate up a lot of time. They had to convert third downs. He was a big part of that. I thought he hit his check down to Singletary when he had to, or to Tyrone, whatever it was. I thought he really saw the field well against a team that does a lot defensively.
Yeah, and look, the Browns at home have been one of the best defenses in football over the last couple of years to go 17 of 19 in the first half, Baldy. And he had more passing yards in the first half of this game than the Browns have given up on average per game at home over the last season.
Wow. I didn't know that stat, but that's pretty impressive. But look, they play a ton of man coverage and they're good at it. They've got 3 guys, in Denzel Ward and Emerson and Newsome that can flat out, and then that frees up linebackers to come and different fronts and twist stunts and all that stuff. And I thought he was excellent. And then, you got to get to 2 guys. You got to get to Singletary because, I've been watching this kid since he came out of Florida Atlantic, John. He has a great ability to make people miss. He did the other day. He had over 100 yards of offense. He can keep you on schedule. The run at the end of the game, obviously, to put it on ice is just a heads-up play. I don't know if anybody said anything to him, but you don't often break one for 43 and you're going to walk in the end zone and say, you know what? If I down it right here, we can take a knee and game's over. There is no more decisions to make. So that was really impressive. And then you can't say enough about Malik. He's just we knew he was going to be good, John. We all watched him in training camp, off season. We watched him play, but now we're seeing him in the games. That play where he took the ball right off of Martin Newsome's, right out of his hands.
It was Emerson, I think, right? I think it was Emerson on that side.
Was that Emerson? Yeah,
I think it was Emerson. Yeah.
Yeah, Martin Emerson out to 23. That play is just, he just took it right away from him, and came down for 28 yards. And then just the patience I thought that Daniel showed in the first touchdown, where he's basically, just running that post corner and, he's beating a really good corner right there. He does everything so fundamentally sound. 2 hands on the ball, looks it into his hands. He's special. He's really special. And then I think the thing that caught my eye, John, was on their opening touchdown drive, 4th and 2, or 4th and 1. They're at the 43-yard line. It's only 7-0. There's no reason to gamble right there. Not necessarily. It's only 7-0. But they hand him off on the fly sweep, and the Browns got 11 guys at the line of scrimmage, and his speed just outran everybody to the first down marker. That was, you got a guy like that can just make those kind of key plays. You got something.
And they had him on that slot play in the second half. That could have been a touchdown that could have put the game away. And I think I'm happy you brought those 2 points up in the same answer, Baldy, because you talk about how much man defense the Browns play. Well, if you're going to beat a team that's really good at man defense, you need a guy like Malik Neighbors that you can trust to beat man-to-man. And you know what? Even when he's covered, you could still throw him the ball because he's going to make a crazy catch like he did on the sideline.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, John, is the elite guys, no matter you put your number 1 corner on there, it doesn't matter. When they're that good, it doesn't matter how he's going to start to see bracket coverage. They're going to start really But Wandale showed up yesterday. Slayton caught a big third down catch. The tight ends caught key passes. So Malik is going to get the best corner most weeks. He's going to get bracket coverage now. They're going to see what he's doing to great corners like you saw in Cleveland. But that's what you want with that player. And he plays much bigger than his height. Yeah. He's so strong. And then he's got a burst and the ability to separate that is real comforting for any quarterback because he does separate, but even if he is covered, he's still open.
And finally, I want to tip my cap to Brian Daboll in this game, Baldy. I thought in that first half, well-timed screen passes. I talked to my buddy who covers the Browns, and he said after the game, he called every play that teams attacked the wide nine with, and he timed them perfectly, and a lot of them worked. So he created a lot of chunk plays out of easy throws for Jones on some of those screens and other plays to counter what Jim Schwartz likes to do.
Well, not only that, but that's what you've got to be able to do to Myles Garrett. If you just look, Andrew battled him all day out there. And Andrew played well, really well at times. I mean, a couple penalties, whatever, but nobody just handles him. Nobody. And so the best thing you could do is slow him down with the screen game. And I thought, the screens to Singletary that really paid off. And so I thought it was a really good game plan, John. I thought that they were really in sync all the way around. The offensive line, for the most, and one other key thing I thought in those screen games is you're seeing some real athletic ability on the perimeter. Whether it's Runyon or John Michael Schmitz had a big play.
Yeah.
On a Singletary screen. I saw some real athletic ability from the guys up front, and you need that change up in this league right now. You need to get to the perimeter.
The Giants Huddle podcast is brought to you by Citizens, the official bank of the New York Giants. Citizens will donate $750 to the Giants Foundation for each scoring drive during the 2024 season. Learn more at citizensbank.com/Giants.
You love turf. You're good at it. So you start a turf biz. Business grows, your savings grow. Become the most celebrated name in turf. Are you ready for all that life brings?
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like to check the date of the big game first before you accidentally buy tickets on your 20th wedding anniversary and have to spend the next 20 years of your marriage making up for it. Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate. Savings vary, terms apply. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
And look, you mentioned it, and this will be the last question on the game before we do a couple on Dallas here, Baldy. Andrew Thomas is usually a brick wall over there. Nobody beats him. Myles Garrett, holy cow. I've never seen Andrew Thomas, and again, he didn't play poorly, but I've never seen him lose as much as he lost in this game because Myles Garrett we talked about this last week. He's just one of one. At 270, the way he can move, he just looked too fast and athletic for Andrew Thomas, who is a Pro Bowl caliber offensive tackle.
It's funny. So I started, I'm watching the defense. I'm watching Cleveland. I'm watching the offense. And I'm watching Andrew Thomas. And he got off to a really good start. And I thought, I'm going to do, I didn't know how it was going to finish. But I think this is a perfect day to do something on Andrew Thomas against the Defensive Player of the Year. So I'm looking at 3 or 4 good plays, and I'm seeing okay, I'm going to hold this guy down so long. Whether it's a spin or, he's a freight train. He's just a freight train. I mean, nobody comes that low and that hard, and you feel a little helpless. And even chip blocks don't really help once he starts that momentum of driving to the quarterback.
All right, let's talk about the Cowboys. The Giants can't enjoy this win for long, unfortunately, Baldy. They had a quick turnaround. Luckily, the Giants are hosting the Thursday night game, so Dallas has to travel. Giants will be at home. Is it too simple? I don't want to complicate football, but I don't want to make it seem idiot-proof either. I mean, at this point, don't you just run the ball at Dallas until they prove that they can stop it at this point with as bad as their run defense has been the last 2 weeks?
Yeah, I mean, you go back to the playoff loss to Green Bay. They just pounded them. You go back, 2 games ago and what the Saints did to them, they just pounded them. And then you knew the Ravens wanted to do it, and they did it. And it seems like, honestly, Dallas has tremendous speed on defense, John. But, I mean, you could go in any era. The way you counter speed is running right at it. And they're not good. They're not good at holding the point inside, and they're not technically very fundamental in the run fits. And so they get out of their gaps. And whether guys are undisciplined or whatever, or they just don't know, they don't play sound run defense. And so you have to go into the game thinking we have to get this started like this. And then the other thing is, like, you're just not going to get good tackling from either corner. Like Trayvon Diggs might go for the interceptions, but he's not looking to make first contact if you get in the outside right now. He's just not looking to do that.
Yeah, and then Carson missed the tackle early in that game yesterday. He allowed the big run. I think to Aguilar right down the right sideline. He missed the tackle. In baseball, you talk about being good up the middle, right? Catcher, shortstop, center field. And the Cowboys right now, a defensive tackle and linebacker, Baldy, there's just not a lot going on down the middle of that defense.
No. I mean, look, it's Micah, Tank. The speed of Overshawn is a fast guy, but they're not big inside right now. I don't know, honestly, what Eric Kendricks really has left. He has not been a game changer with the Chargers last year. Minnesota let him go for a reason. He looks like, Zimmer. Mike is a good coach, but I don't think it's a position of strength right now. They drafted Mozzie Smith. Like, he doesn't look like an anchor inside right now. And so Odigizua is a pass rusher. Like, they just don't have the type of beef that you need in there like the Giants have with Dexter to really kind of boggle things up in the middle.
Yeah, I don't want to get too inside baseball here on the Cowboys, Baldy, but I watched Mozzie Smith in Michigan, and you can have a conversation as to whether or not you would ever think he could rush the passer. That was a fair conversation to have.
Yes.
But that guy was able to extend, lock people out, and play the run exceptionally well in Michigan. I don't know what's happened to him, but he looks like a completely different player in the NFL.
It's funny. Like, you don't notice him, John. Like, honestly, you watch Cowboy games. You're like, you don't know if he's on the field, not on the field. Like, I can go find Elijah Chapman yesterday. I know he's on the field. I have trouble finding Mozzie Smith in these games. And is he on the field, not on the field? Is he in the rotation? Like, he's not making anything happen right now.
No, I'm with you. All right, offensively for Dallas, much like they can't stop the run, Baldy, they really can't run the ball. You talk about Eric Kendricks not having a lot left. Zeke, short yardage, pass protection, sure, but he just doesn't have much juice left in terms of the run game. Rico Dowdle is fine. This seems to be like kind of all on Dak Prescott here to make that offense run.
I agree. I mean, they're playing two rookies on the offensive line. And look, Cooper Beebe at center right now. Guyton at left tackle. I mean, I think they're going to be good players. I think they drafted good, but they don't have. Look, I played for the Cowboys. Yeah, go back to Walt Garrison, Tony Dorsett, Emmitt Smith, Zeke in his prime. Like, they've always had a great running back. Yeah. This is the first time I can ever, even, if you look at Tony Pollard and some of the other guys.
Dude, DeMarco Murray,
DeMarco Murray led the league in rushing. Like, I can go back to the history. I never remember a Cowboy team that didn't have a workhorse running back. And they don't have one right now.
Yeah. Yeah, it just seems, and look, and I feel like if you can, I know it's hard to do because he's a great player, but if you can figure out a way to limit CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Cooks I still think is a good player, but Dak doesn't seem to be able to have any comfort level close to what he has with CD with his other wide receivers. And look, Jake Ferguson's a good player too, but I think if you're an opponent, those guys you want to throw to them, you'll live with that if you can prevent those explosives to 88.
Now, the offense is going through CD. They're going to move him around. He's going to be in motion. He's going to be in the slot. It doesn't matter if you're a man, if you're in zone. Like, and this, by the way, I always said this about CD. Going back to Oklahoma, John, he gives your team toughness. Like, that guy in the middle of the field. You remember those hits from that Adrian Colbert that you had, like late hits over the middle. I forget maybe I got the name wrong. But, I mean, that guy will take a hit in the middle of the field with the best of them, get right up. He's fearless, and he gives that team a lot. The offense goes through CD. When he gets rolling, that offense, it looks totally different.
Baldy, this was fun, my friend. Appreciate the time as always.
Yeah, my pleasure, John. I'll talk to you hopefully next week.
Yeah, absolutely. The Baldy's Breakdown edition of the Giants Huddle podcast brought to you by Citizens, the official bank of the Giants. Thank you to Brian Baldinger. We'll see you next time, everybody.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like, to check the date of the big game first before you accidentally buy tickets on your 20th wedding anniversary and have to spend the next 20 years of your marriage making up for it. Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate. Savings vary. Terms apply. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
You go into your shower feeling, but as soon as you reach for the Irish Spring, your day immediately gets better. That crisp, fresh, unmistakable Irish Spring scent zings your brain and awakens your senses. So when you finally emerge from the shower, 37 minutes later, because you pay the water bill so you can stay in there as long as you want, you're ready to take on the day and smell great doing it. Irish Spring Body Wash and Bar Soap. Fresh, green, Irish. Shop now at Walmart.